Hi, welcome to lesson 3 regarding stage and street hypnosis. Now, I just want to point out that all of this is relevant to stage and street. It interrelates. That'll become clearer as you continue watching the videos, review the content, and look at the written text information that will also be supplied free. The information being down the side of this video, on the website you found it on, or on whichever site, or by emailing the people that supplied you with this video. But anyway, the next step, once you've got through your health and safety warnings, as you're obliged to by law, is to get a bit more rapport, put them at ease, and do a suggestibility test. Now, I like to do a few quick verbal ones. I say to them something such as, you know, when you're hypnotised, you're fully aware of everything that's going on around you at all times. It's just you've got an overwhelming desire to do almost everything I say. Now, the reason I say almost everything I say is because it's impossible to make anyone say or do anything that would contradict the morals or the values. That sentence puts their mind at rest. In a stage show or street, I always stress, you know, no one's going to be running around like a chicken or removing any articles of clothing. Unless you want to. Makes it a bit of a joke, puts the mind at ease even more. And you know, when you hypnotise, you're an even better liar. I'm not saying you're a liar, but you know, if you were, or you have something to hide, you wouldn't start blurting it out, because that's a very common misconception people have, that when they're hypnotised, they're going to reveal deep, dark secrets. You don't want to go there, because you could open yourself up to, again, legal cases for causing them problems if they were to let something go that they didn't want people to know. So just don't go on that ground and reassure them, put the mind at ease. That's how you know all that happens when you're hypnotised is you're given verbal and sometimes physical suggestions. I'll tell you what I mean. I'm going to say the word silk, okay? That's S-I-L-K. And I want you to, every time I point at you like that, say the word silk, okay? Each time, say silk. So it's silk, 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 silk. Keep saying it, silk, silk. And the very moment as you keep saying it as I put my hand towards you, silk, silk, faster, silk, silk, louder, silk, silk, silk. The very moment I ask you a question, I want you to say the first thing that comes into your head. What do cows drink? And a large number of people will say milk and giggle away, and you go, no, actually, I thought they drank water. If they say water, you just react as though, great, that tells me what I needed to know. You're an ideal subject to be hypnotised. Would you like to carry on? Again, you're getting consent, and this is on the video and proof. You can edit that bit off so that when your clips go out, it looks as though you just randomly walk up to people and go, sleep, and hypnotise them, which is what happens with the TV shows and most of the clips out there, despite what people may tell you. I'm telling you the truth, and I've worked with some of the top names, believe me. Anyway, either way, you react as though that's the response you wanted. Okay, and then I'll go, let's try another one. Stop. S-T-O-P. Say it every time I put my hand towards you. Stop, stop, stop. Faster. Every time my hand goes towards you. Stop, 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 stop. When I ask you a question, say the first thing that comes into your head. What do you do at a green traffic light? And a lot of people will say stop, which gets a bit of a chuckle. Laughter equals relaxation, thus helping them relax, gains you more rapport. It becomes slightly entertaining for the group, and it also means you'll be able to hypnotise them easier, because you're putting them at easier, that it's nothing dangerous, it's fine. If they say go, you go, fantastic. You're so aware, this means you can be an ideal subject, because you're using your powers of intelligence, imagination and concentration so effectively. Either way is a win-win, because you just react, always react as if that's what you expected. That way there's never any failure. Then I say also there's physical elements. So for this, place your right hand out in front of you. Everyone do this at home. Make a fist with your hand, but please don't punch anyone. Then make a gun. Don't shoot anyone though. Okay, now make a ring out of your finger or thumb. That's brilliant. Look directly at me, and on the count of 3, do what I say, not what I do, okay? Do what I say, not what I do. On the count of 3, just touch it to your chin like this. And when you do that, a large number of people will end up touching it to their cheek, because they do what you did and not what you said, and you can get a laugh out of that. If they do actually touch it to the chin, you go, fantastic, you're concentrating, you're using your powers of mind, you were paying attention, you didn't fall for the trick, which is brilliant. That tells me you can be a wonderful hypnotic subject. Again, it's a win-win. I then like to perhaps get them to put the hands together like this, interlock the fingers, fingers of the left hand against the back of the right hand, fingers of the right hand against the back of the left, palms pressed tightly together, thumbs down on top, squeeze your hands together just as tightly as you can and extend your 4 fingers like so, and then separate them about an inch. If that's an inch, I've got no worries. And then stare directly at me. And if you stare directly at me, I'm going to count backwards from 3 to 1. On the count of 1, if you concentrate, as I'm sure you will, and use your powers of intelligence, imagination and concentration effectively, then you'll find that by the count of 1, your fingertips will be touching, because on 3, it's almost as though the world's strongest magnets are on the tips of your fingers, pulling them closer, more rapidly together with each second that passes by. On 2, with every breath that you take, every noise that you hear, every word that I say, and every thought that you think, acting as a sign and a signal to make those magnets more powerful, almost as though someone's got a piece of rope and is pulling that rope tight, knotted around your fingers, pulling them together more rapidly, closer, getting closer now, and on 1, they're touching. Now, for the majority of people, they will be, because the truth of the matter is, getting your hands in that position, hands together, palms together, fingers together, then about an inch, after a while, the fingers, the muscles get tired and they draw together. Because we know this happens in the majority of cases in a very short space of time, the patter is just to kill time while that happens. And if you watch this video back again, you'll see you ask them to look in your eyes, and then you're holding your hand slightly down, and you slowly bring your fingers together as a non-verbal suggestion for them to do the same. And if they're suggestible, they will. And the fact that their fingers start to get tired anyway, when their fingers end up touching, and you can time your patter to this, depending on how quickly you see their fingers going together, then you can make it so that they come to believe when their fingers touch that this happened because you suggested it. And once they've got this physical evidence to themselves that something has genuinely happened to them because you suggested it, then they come to believe that whatever you say to them will occur, because you're the hypnotist. Hey, you know best. I then like to get them to put the hands out in front of them like this, interlock the fingers, press the palms tightly together, thumbs down on top, and then push the hands away from them like this. Okay? And really push them away from them, outstretched. So, that's better. So that they're really outstretched away from them like that. Or in fact, above the heads, really good. And then get them to look up at them. So either above the head, staring up, pushing the hands high towards the sky, towards the rainbow, and then you say, I'm going to count backwards from 3 down to 1. On the count of 1, if you concentrate, as I'm sure you will, you'll find every muscle, nerve, fibre, tissue and muscle in your body, from your wrists to your elbows to your shoulders, will be locked, glued, welded, cemented in place. It'll be impossible to separate your hands until I touch them if you use your powers of intelligence, imagination and concentration effectively. This is making them want to comply, because otherwise they look a bit stupid, and it's praising their ego when it works. And you say, keep pushing high towards the sky, towards the rainbow. And you count backwards. 3, your fingers are locked, glued, welded, cemented together. It's almost as if the world's strongest superglue on the count of 2 is bonding, gluing, welding, cementing your hands in place. And on 1, keep pushing your hands high towards the sky, towards the rainbow. And as you keep pushing them high towards the sky, towards the rainbow, just so long as you keep pushing them high towards the sky, towards the rainbow, you'll find that the more you try to separate them, the more they stick. The more you try to separate them, as you keep pushing them high towards the sky, the more they stick. And then you go up to them and you knock on the corner of their elbow, wrist area like that as you go. 1, 2, 3, your hands will separate. And what happens is, because you knock the hands out of tilt, i.e. they're no longer pushing upwards, you slightly, by knocking their wrist, make the hands come down a bit, then the hands will come apart. It's basically almost physically impossible when your hands are really pushed up in the air. As long as you keep pushing upwards, it's practically impossible to separate them. So we use this physical trick to make them believe that it's occurred through your words, your suggestions. So they come to believe that, you know, they said milk or tops, but if they don't, it doesn't matter. You react as though that's what you wanted to have happen, so that you're always in a win-win, and reframe it so that that's like, brilliant, this shows me that you can be a good subject. And then when you do the fingers together, it happens, and they come to believe your suggestions are what they're making it happen. And then when they can't open the hands, blimey, you must have hypnotised them, because that's what they come to believe it is. And if they believe what you're doing has worked because of suggestion, hypnosis, call it what you will, the next thing you suggest to them, they're more likely to react to and comply and not critically analyse it, because, hey, it worked before, it's going to work again. I'll continue this in lesson 3. See you soon.